Hello. What's going on? What's good? What's good? What's good? We got Snoopus Sneed. First in the box. What's going on, Sneed? Shout out to the homie. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is TubeBuddy Technician, and I'm glad to be back at it once again for another live stream. Salute to the people watching me in the chat room. Salute to the people watching me on the replay. And salute to the people watching me in the clouds. I know you're up there, and I thank you, and I appreciate you for your time. We're back at it again with another live stream tonight. I'm not going to be on too long, and I do mean that, but I'm going to be talking about that broadcast sound, that broadcast crispy audio that people love so much. I'm going to be talking about that tonight. I'm going to be talking about how to do it, how to get to it, how to get it done, how to get the sound. We got Rain in the box. What's going on, Rain and Woman? Shout out to Rain and Woman. What's going on? We up in here. I greatly appreciate it. Definitely like and subscribe if you're new. Share the stream out to your social media platforms so more people can get this information, so I can help more people to sound like how they say on YouTube, more better. But without further ado, I do want to get right into it. So, I got to find my track. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Right there. Loosen up in the shoulders, baby. You act like you ain't done this in a long time. Let's get into it. So, a lot of people ask me, how do you get your mic? How do you get that broadcast audio sound, right? And it's not hard, but it's not entirely easy, right? So if you're new to the audio, you're new to setting up your audio for podcasting, live streaming, it is similar but slightly different when it comes to dealing with live streaming. However, this thing is doing the absolute most right now. Not this camera. So I'm just going to shut that off right now. However, it is possible to make it as simple as possible. We got K's Business Podcast in the building. Businessman extraordinaire. K's Business Podcast in the building. Shout out to K. I appreciate you for pulling up, bro. As K would say, class is in session. So let's get to the live scene. See over. What did she say? See over with the pearly whites. Yes, indeed. So make sure the teeth are always white. Absolutely. So let's get right into it. So broadcast sound, I think I know. Yeah, some people do know. Some people do know, right? And so here, let's address a couple things first, right? So first of all, it comes with the hardware, right? So a lot of people, right? We got Brother Love in the building. What's going on, Brother Love? Salute to you. The Brother Love Show in the building. I'm gonna turn OBS Ninja off. Salute to you. So, a lot of people, right? So the first, we got Work Hard, Travel Well in the building. What's going on to you? Peace to you. So the first thing that people do is like you have a dynamic mic, right? And one of the coolest content creators created. We got Super Slide in the building. I appreciate that, Super Slide. That means a lot. I love it when people appreciate what I'm doing. I appreciate that greatly. So one of the most important things, one of the problematic things that people do is they get a dynamic microphone and then they get the cloud lifter because they automatically think they need the cloud lifter, right? So you're not entirely wrong, but 100% you don't need a cloud lifter all the time, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm going to pause this smooth track because you know I am with my music. I got to have my music. Your boy gotta have the tunes, right? But I'm gonna kill the music for a minute, right? I'm gonna kill the music for a minute, right? Cause you know I get the vibing with the music, act like I am. So I'm gonna show you what it sounds like. So my audio is really controlled over here, so it's gonna be hard for me to do. But what a lot of people do is they get the dynamic microphone and then they get the cloud lifter and then they add dB on top of that, right? So what you gotta remember is the cloud lifter adds 20 dB of gain. Okay, so you don't need to add 20 more because the cloud lifter already gives you 20 dB. And the 20 dB of gain, decibel gain that you get with the cloud lifter is to overcome your interface, right? Prime example, SM7B. SM7B needs 70. You have a interface with 50 or 60. If you want to overcome the 20, you use the dB gain coming from the cloud lifter, then turn your interface up to to even everything out, right? However, if you have a mic that only needs about 50 dB gain, which is probably like a Rode Pod mic or Shure SM MV7, right? You don't necessarily need a cloud lifter because you can just turn the gain up on your interface. Because you're turning the gain up on your interface is not loud and your interface is not noisy. So I'm going to show you why you don't need to do that, right? So we're going to come here. Now, what I'm doing right now is, right, I'm not even getting into the whole EQ thing. I'm getting into the hardware aspect of it. So, we could turn the music back. Now, I got to turn the mic on. So we're getting into the hardware aspect of it, right? So the reason why I got to address the hardware, because you got to address the hardware before you get to the software, okay? So I'm going to put the comments up there. All right. As an operator, SM7B, that's all pretty spot on. Yeah, absolutely, right? So some people, yes, you need the cloud lifter, right? But not for everybody, right? So everybody's thing isn't the same, okay? So I'm going to come here on my mic. So I don't know if this is going to cut my mic off. I don't know. We're going to try this. Okay, the software doesn't work too well. Okay, so test. Okay, so the mic is live. All right. So I'm using the Ashton Stealth, right? So the Ashton Stealth needs about 50 dB of gain to work properly in dynamic mode. When it's in condenser mode, it needs phantom power 48 volts, right? So with the dynamic mode, I should be able to press the button, gives me more gain. The button doesn't really work the way it's supposed to, but regardless of that, as you can see, I have 50 dB gain on my mic. So now I'm going to turn my mic up. So don't, turn your audio down because I'm going to turn my mic up. So now you see it's at 50. And look, test. See, it's between low and very much close to loud. So this is where you want it, right? So this is what happens if you have a cloud lifter. We're going to add 20. That's going to put it to 70. Test. Okay. So now it's peaking. All right. So this is what it sounds like in my everything's turned up to the max. Okay. So it's very loud, right? So this is what happens when you have a cloud lifter on top of the gain that you already have, right? So that's 20. So this is what you're hearing. So when people are saying that they can't get the audio that they want, it's usually because you got the cloud lifter and you probably don't need it, right? So I don't like sounding like this. So we're gonna close this out. Test. Okay, we gotta bring this back down to 50. Bring the DPI so I can do it properly. Test. Okay. So now we're back at 50. What? You couldn't hear, right? You couldn't hear. Okay, you couldn't hear. Primping ain't, we got primping ain't easy. What's going on? So that's exactly why. Okay, so that's exactly why you couldn't hear me, because the gain is static, it's noisy, it sounds terrible, right? So again, coming back to my equipment, so this gives me, we got 8. So when you're getting an interface, you got to make sure you see what's the max gain it can do, right? Because you can always push it to the max without getting that staticky noise, depending on the mic that you have. So as you can hear, the max that my interface can do. We got ZenMax in the bookshop. So the max that my interface, my GoXLR can do is 70. So it's almost to the max at 70. However, you hear no static because the Ashton Stealth requires 70. So that's why you need to pay attention to the equipment that you're buying before we even get into the software of things, because that's where you're having the problems at. So a lot of people need to make sure they know what they're buying before they get into any type of equipment things that they want to do. You got to know what it is that you're trying to do first so you don't waste your money. We got Bionic Scoop. Shout out to Bionic Scoop. We got Bionic Scoop in the building. All right, we got Bionic Scoop in the building. So now let's get into the software. So I always got to address the hardware. The hardware is something that gets overlooked all the time. So I got to get into the hardware. But now we're done with the hardware. So let's talk about the software now. So we're getting into the software. Facts being spit. Shout out to Scoop. Scoop is the man. Y'all check out Scoop YouTube channel. Definitely check out Scoop YouTube channel. If you get Scoop, drop your links. Y'all check out Scoop YouTube channel. He's very sharp with the photography, man. He actually knows how to take pictures. So shout out to Scoop. So let's get to the software. So I always got to address the hardware. So let's get to the software. So you know me. I use VST filters, right? So VST filters are very dynamic. They can be used in all situations. VST filters can definitely be used for post-processing, post-editing, podcast work. If you don't have Adobe Audition, VST filters are the way to go. Now, again, if you got Adobe Audition and you want to do post-processing in your audio and the Adobe Suite, you're good. We don't gotta go any further than that. If that's what you do, you should be able to work that on your own. Everybody doesn't have Adobe Audition, so we're gonna move forward, okay? So here's what I do. I go to filters. And again, if you're wondering, this is a smooth interface from the homie. They go Scoop channel. Y'all check out Scoop. Sharp photography over there. And storytelling. So this is the interface from Interactive DNA. So shout out to Interactive DNA. He doesn't do this for everybody. He didn't have to do it for me, but he took his time to do it for me. So I always appreciate Interactive DNA. One of the OBS goats that I see on YouTube. So definitely we got to drop a bomb for Interactive DNA for hooking your boy up and having me always look sharp when I do my live streams and when I show you my screen OBS. Anyway, so again, I'm going to break down the filters that I use, right? So when you're trying to get that broadcast sound, you just got to treat your audio, but dynamic mics usually have that broadcasting sound, right? You don't really get that with condensers. Condensers are very booming and powerful, right? So condensers sound like if I'm talking directly onto the mic like that, right? Dynamics, you don't really get that. So usually when it comes to that broadcasting sound, it's really treating the audio, making sure that the bass is not too much, right? So I'm going to come here, and these are my 4 EQs that I use. I've gone over these multiple times in talking about VST filters. The first one is Nova. The second one is Kotelnikov. The third one is Vol Slick EQ, and the wider is the expander, the stereo adjustment. So it adds stereo to the voice to expand the audio in both inputs of your headphones. Okay, so we're gonna go to Nova. All right. Now, what you see here is pretty much a 4-band equalizer, right? A 4-band equalizer, dynamic equalizer. So it's what it's doing right now is actively cutting down certain frequencies and bringing my voice and bringing certain frequencies up, right? So here it's bringing the highs, bringing the highs up a little bit. I don't do too much with the mids because of how I have it set up in the mic. And here at the very end, I pretty much bring the clarity up, right? So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the music, right? I'm going to kill the music, and I'm going to duplicate this. All right. Okay. We're gonna come here and work on this one. All right. So this is what you hear. This is what I hear, because I don't want to mess with my main, because it does take a while to get that set up. It takes like it took me 3 hours the first time, and it gets shorter every time I go because I know what I'm doing. Okay. So here we're gonna go to OBS. I'm gonna go to my mic. I'm gonna go monitor, and out. There we go. And you should hear it too. So this is the feedback. Okay. N10K. Absolutely. All right. So now you can hear it. I can hear it. There should be a little echo, but we're going to work through that because I'm doing this live. All right. Let's see. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn all of this off. Okay. So this is how I sound. What I'm going to do is so it is an echo, but because I'm hearing what you're hearing at the same time. So we're going to come here. All right, so this is the first one. Test, 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 test. We got Ace in the building. Okay, so this is a V-shape frequency, right, response. So you can have it roll in or roll up. So usually I have it here. And you're going to hear how this changes when I'm changing it. So I'm testing how everything sounds. Okay. So this is how it sounds when you're messing around with the EQ and you're changing how the audio sounds. So if you really want to tune your audio, this is something that you would want to play with so that you can hear where you want your audio to sound. Okay. So my mic is in V1, which is probably represented by most people's mics. So what you want to do first, test, 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 right here. Okay. So you can bring it down to make it clearer, bring it up to make it more bassier. Okay. So we can try this the first way around, and we can make it clearer here. Test, test. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to default, and we're just going to bring this down here. Okay. So that's the first one. We're going to do the second one, and you're going to hear how this sounds when I bring it here. Okay. Super clear. Bring it up. Super muddy. Right. So this is what we call muddy. All right. So you want that broadcast sound, but you don't want it too muddy. So you got to bring it down here. Okay. You can always alter this. Roll up. Roll down. Okay. Roll up. V shape. Roll up. Roll up. Roll up. Okay. So this sounds the best. Okay, this is roll down. Bass roll off. I think that's what it's called. This would be called the bass roll off. This is the symbol that's on the SM7B. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. But anyway, coming to the third, and this is the third. This is the second, two mids. This is the highs, two mids, lows. Okay, so this is the second mid, And we're just gonna bring that up, okay? So now you sound like you're in a radio, okay? So this doesn't sound the best, so we don't keep it here. You bring it down, 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 okay? Again, we're muddy. You don't want this. So we bring it up, you bring it up, you bring it up, you bring it up, right here. Bring it up, a little bit here, clearer, clear, test, test. You hear how it sounds? And this is at the middle. Again, if you want to be clearer, you'll do something, you'll bring it up here, right? So, but if we want to simulate that that velvety broadcast sound, smooth transitions with the technician himself, you'll do something like this. Bring it down there. Now we can keep it in V shape to emphasize the bass, or bass roll off, or roll it up. Okay? Now I don't like the way this sounds. Sounds very stuffy. This sounds just right. Okay? Now here's the lows. So we got the lows here. So we bring the lows up, make everything sound super clear. Then we can bring everything down to make it sound real muddy. Okay? Now, depending on how you have it set up, this could work for some people, but I don't want it there. I kind of want to recreate that broadcast sound. So I want to bring it all test, test, bring it test, 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 testing, test, 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 testing, 1, 2, testing, test, testing. Okay, that sounds good. Let's keep it there, then bring it down. See how it sounds. Okay. So I don't like that up here. We're gonna keep it here. All right. So just like a little example, right? Not don't this is just to show you what you would do, how it sound like when you're playing around with these different equalizers. It's the same thing in Final Cut, same thing in Adobe Premiere, all these different softwares. When you're messing with the audio, it kind of resembles that 10 band, 5 band, 2 band, whatever, right? I'm not going to mess with any of these right now. Just want to keep it simple, and we're going to close that. Okay? Now, we're done. I'm going to turn all of these off, and this is how it sounds, okay? So, this is my voice without anything done. Test, test. My name is C/D Technician, and we're talking about EQing for podcasting, live streaming, how to do your audio for post processing, anything you're doing with audio. My name is C/D Technician, and we're getting very technical tonight. And now this is my voice with the Nova 2. My name is C/D Technician. We're talking about how to EQ your audio for podcasting and live streaming, post processing, any type of content that you're doing, how to do it before and after. You can take these examples and do it in any softwares. And that's how that sounds. So let me come back. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Now, let me change that. Okay. Where we at? Where we at? Come on, where we? Okay. All right, there we go. Now this is the part of the video of the stream where I look to you guys in the chat room and you tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about what I just did. Does that make sense? Or are there some things was I wrong on? Am I off? Am I tripping? We got Pandies, Hair Candy, and more in the building. Salute to you, Pandy. Let me know. Was that helpful? Did that make sense to you? So the reason why I did it like that is it's not very detailed, but it's just give you an example of just to give you an example of how that looks when you're doing trying to learn it, right? So the broadcast sound is basically how you want to EQ your audio. You can do that whatever you want, but really you should just focus on trying to get the clear type bassy sound that sounds really nice, podcast type audio, right? So you only get that with properly, EQing your audio. Now this is live. I do this live, or you can do it in post processing. Now the problem is that certain apps that people use, like Final Cut Pro, you have to properly add certain filters in order for you to get the sound that you want. A lot of people don't understand how to do that. So the best way to do it is just follow the tutorials with VST filters when you're installing the plugins. You can use VST filters for Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, Avid, Vegas. All of these filters are universal because of how open source they are, right? But even within the actual software that you're using, the editing software that you're using, the most important thing to understand is if you're having an issue with static and gain on your mic, that's a hardware issue. That's not a software issue. That's a hardware issue. So you got to fix the hardware first before you come to the software. Like I always say, you have to learn the combination of hardware and software to get the best results possible. It's not always the software, and it's not just always the hardware. Sparkle, sparkle.
Just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking.
Now, see, and this is why I like mixers and USB interfaces, because you can control more of the audio than you can on a USB mic. You have more freedom to tweak the way you want things to sound. Because, I mean, of course, you can always add a USB mic into any type of software. Don't get it twisted. You can always do that. See what you guys saying in the chat room. Okay. Well, if no one has any questions, I will wrap it up here because I don't want to be on too long. So if no one has any questions, I'll definitely wrap it up here. I hope you guys appreciated the super quick breakdown. I hope it made sense for you. Again, if you have any questions, hit me up on social media. We got the Mr. Cova right here on Twitter. Definitely hit me on Instagram, same thing there. And I appreciate everyone for showing up into the live stream. I greatly appreciate it. This is a record short live stream, but it's a good one nonetheless. So, I can't just leave the live stream like that. I got to give you the coldest outro in the game. So as you know, when you hear this song, it's time to get on up out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, I hope you appreciated the short tutorial that I gave you. I hope it made sense. I hope it make sense for you, because it makes sense to me. And take some time to learn this. But once you learn it, you can apply it to live streaming, podcasting, post-production, everything. But you can't do it on StreamYard though. So if you're on StreamYard and you're trying to do it, I'm sorry.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
I can't help you with that. So gotta figure it out your own. But it's universal. We can get into that next time. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Goodbye. Good night.
I'm a big YouTuber.